welcome back to another reading. And if you guys are new here, hi, my name is Astra. I'm a intuitive tarot reader and I do tarot readings here on my channel. Today I am back with another members Q&A. If you guys do not know already, I do have this membership where my members get to participate in the monthly Q&A every single month. If you guys are also interested in asking questions about your favorites and getting early access to this monthly Q&A as well, I will have the link to the membership down in the description below. But other than that, let's get started with the questions. We have a lot this time around, so this video might be around an hour long, so I'm sorry about that. But first question we have here is, will Faye and Yoko work together again? Okay, so let's take a look. Will Faye and Yoko work together again? Will Faye and Yoko work together again? Will Faye and Yoko work together again? Okay, you guys, so honestly, when it comes to Faye and Yoko, definitely at a certain time, one of them would have answered this question like saying, yes, we will definitely probably work together again, even after what happened. I do have hope that we will work together again. We will cross paths, because I don't know if I mentioned this to you guys before, but there was a certain time where I felt and picked up that there was one of them that did want to sort of work together again, even after they both went through their own ways. One of them was planning to talk to the other if the other wanted to do a certain project with them. And so I feel like for a certain time, that certain person hadn't thought that, you know, as soon as she is able to do that, we will work together again, we will do something together again. But now sort of the circumstances have changed. I do see that that person is now involved in a certain project or is involved in a certain work where they do feel like that it is hard to specifically connect and work together with the other person again, because they do feel like there is like a sense that, okay, I do have this sense of responsibility now, I do have to work with a certain other person right now, and so it's probably not as possible for us to work together again anymore. Okay, but from what I'm picking over here, like, they honestly do not feel like they will work together again. They probably do feel like that it's over, but from the energy that I'm picking up, I do see that there is still signs that they could cross paths together professionally. Okay, but right now, I'm between them, I'm honestly still picking some sort of tension, disagreements, and one of them sort of has like a sense of pride maybe, and so there is still certain unresolved issues between them that haven't fully been cleared up between the two of them. Okay, and so I feel like because one of them is sort of working in a certain project maybe with another person right now, I do feel like that is sort of like a barrier right now, that they cannot really work together at the moment. Okay, and so I do feel like there is definitely still some certain disappointment and regret that I'm picking of how things have turned out. I feel like both of them sort of do not like the way that things have unfolded between the two of them. Okay, but I do see that right now there is a future opportunity that can come between the two of them, that they can work together, because if communication happens between the two of them, I feel like a lot of things will clear up, and deep inside there is specifically one of them that still wishes that they could work together again. But if I'm being honest with you guys, right now it feels like that opportunity is blocked fully unless certain circumstances change and certain things happen in a different way. Okay, but I do feel like there is going to be a period of distance, separate paths between the two of them, and then later on I do feel like that if there is a project that is offered for the two of them and they both are open, like they're not really doing a specific project right now, that opportunity can come for them, and it does show me that it is sort of possible right now. Okay, but not anytime soon. Okay, all right. Next question here is, will Afra and Mert Ramazan get back together in the future? how are the next few months going to be between the two of them, and what do you see regarding their connection and how things may develop moving forward? Okay, so let's take a look on how can things happen between Afra and Mert in the next couple of months, and will things develop between them or move forward in any sort of way? How will the next couple of months be looking for Afra and Mert in the next couple of months? Okay. I'm gonna take from this deck. How will the next few months be looking for Afra and Mert? Will there be any sort of development? How will the next few months be looking for Afra and Mert? Healthy choices. Okay. Alright, you guys, so when it comes to Afra and Mert, I do see that, you know, even if they both are sort of separate, there is like this sort of emotional connection that sort of bonds them together in some sort of way, okay? I do feel like there is one of them specifically that keeps spending a lot of time thinking about what happened, about regrets, about missed opportunities, and what were the what ifs if certain things happened a certain way, and all of that, okay? And I honestly do feel like no matter if they're not in contact or anything of that, their connection is not fully closed off emotionally, even if they are apart, okay? Which I do feel like right now there is not that much connection between the two of them or communication, okay? Because what I'm picking up right now is I'm seeing there is one of them specifically that is like, I'm gonna focus on myself from now on. I'm gonna leave whatever this chaos is, and I'm gonna focus personally on myself and on myself's growth, and I'm gonna be happy, okay? So there's like this sense over here, me also making healthy choices in love and in life, self-love, self-care, and being happier. So there's one of them that's like, okay, I'm gonna disconnect and I'm gonna focus on my happiness, even if it means looking into love from someone else, okay? And so I do feel like there's a sense of third parties here, you guys, as well. Alright, and so I do feel like where they are right now is that one of them as well doesn't really feel sure exactly what they want, okay? And because of that confusion caused them to feel like this relationship is not even going forward. When they try to fix things, they feel like, okay, what's the point of all of this if we both keep feeling undecisive and we don't know what we want next, okay? But even if this certain person feels undecisive about what they want, they still feel like they hold the other person very close to them and care about them a lot. But sometimes it makes other person feel like that person might have a sense of like controlling, or has a sense of feeling that they're codependent on me, or, you know, feeling that they sort of are possessive of me, okay? And I'm getting here that with the Four of Pentacles as well, that one of them, if one of them sees the other person with someone else in the opposite sex, there is definitely a lot of jealousy. And I honestly do feel like right now with the High Priestess, there's also a sense of stalking. That specific person is stalking the other person, what's going on with them on social media and what's out of them and all of that. So even if they both are not even connected right now, there's a sense that I'm still keeping eye on you, I'm still seeing what's going on in your life, and I am not happy to see all of that, okay? Because for the longest time they have viewed that person to be someone that is theirs, and so it doesn't make them feel happy at all, okay? And so because of that, I do feel like there's like a sense of hesitation and divided attention, instead of right now they both working together to get back together, okay? So I honestly do see in the next couple of months, I do see there might be a sense of communication between the two of them, which one of them will try to send that communication that I want to fix things right now, I know what I want right now. But it also feels like a sense that it's going to be too late, because that other person has started seeing their life in another path, okay? And so it feels with that in the next couple of months, they are gonna feel like an important chapter is gonna reach a conclusion when it comes to the two of them, okay? And it doesn't mean that, okay, they're gonna be like, okay, our relationship and our bond that we once shared is forever over, but it feels like they both are gonna reach the conclusion that things cannot return to what they were at a certain time and what they were as before, okay? And so I feel like by the end of the next couple of months, both are gonna sort of get more clarity on what exactly their bond is, if their bond fully is gonna be able to stop or if it's gonna move forward, okay? No matter what, there's like so many memories attached to the bond that they share, so they're gonna feel like even if they try to move forward, even if they try to pursue other people, like I mentioned, even if there's third parties, and that I cannot forget the good memories that me and this person shared. And so I feel like they will go back and forward between that, like, will we become something, will we become not, and then there is distance. And so in the next couple of months, I feel like there is going to be sort of like this point where, okay, we are right now, are we going to stop this? Is our bond completely over right now? Or can I give this another chance, okay? But right now, I feel like there is specifically one person that is gonna try to change things in the next couple of months, but it's either to the other one if they want to continue or not, okay? So I'm sorry if that was confusing, but it's the energy is like all sorts of all over the place, okay? I feel like even both of them just feel confused where they stand, where they are, okay? Next question is, how is the relationship between Emin and Ilsu going? Okay, so let's take a look. How is the relationship between Emin and Ilsu going? How are things going on between Emin and Ilsu? Okay guys, so when it comes to Emin and Ilsu, I mentioned this before, but there's definitely like this genuine bond between the two of them. There's definitely attraction, there's definitely an emotional connection that they both feel when it comes to each other. And you know, sometimes it does feel like an emotional connection that is really meaningful, okay? Not just like a connection that they feel between normal co-stars or anything like that, okay? And I mentioned this before as well, but there's like one of them that specifically feels like this more direct, more confident, more person that is ready to move forward, while the other one is more sensitive, more emotional. And so I feel like they sort of sometimes can balance each other out, but at the same time, sometimes it can be a sense of them being on different pages of what person would rather do something and the other person would rather do something else, okay? And so they definitely enjoy each other's company and they feel a sense of familiarity and comfort with each other, especially after working together, which I'm getting over here, okay? And so I feel like they're at this point where they sort of have a lot of questions when it comes to their bond, like where they stand, what's gonna be the future of the bond that they share, the things that they do feel. And so I feel like right now communication is very important when it comes to their bond, okay? One of them specifically has like a lot of questions and they feel like they want clarity and honesty, and they sort of want to get the truth about where they stand right now. They're not sure about that, okay? And so I feel like right now they're sort of in a place of reflecting, noticing things behind the scenes, like seeing the actions of the other person and sort of trying to piece things together, but at the same time not really showing that they're really trying to analyze, okay? And so I feel like because of that, sometimes one of them can sort of pull back and need more space and need more time to think things through, because the other person just knows exactly what they want and they're ready to move forward in that, while the other person is a bit more wary that I want to sort of protect myself and I don't want to be vulnerable right away, okay? And so I feel like right now it's not like they're disconnected or anything like that. It's just that there is a different vibe going on between their bond right now, okay? Like their connection is definitely active, but it's not really in a full settled situation right now, okay? There is a lot of questions about they are and where they want things to head, okay? And so I feel like probably in the near future there would be probably more conversations about them trying to, you know, make a clear understanding between the two of them and planning what comes next in their bond, okay? But definitely they are trying to not rush into things with each other. They care about each other a lot, and you know, if they want to get into something, they definitely want it to be the right way. I feel like specifically one of them doesn't want to let their guard down, and they want things to happen at a good pace and naturally into like sort of moving things right away. But overall, like things look okay between the two of them. It's just that sometimes there's like a period of reflection. One of them just goes into like this thinking space and evaluating how things are, okay? So I hope that made sense. Next question is for Ella Bright and Belmont Kameli. I'm so sorry if I'm saying his name wrong, but what do they think of each other? Okay, so let's see. What do Ella and Belmont think of each other? What do Ella and Belmont think of each other? Okay, so when it comes to their bond, I do feel like they definitely have a genuine bond over here, okay? There is definitely a lot of fun when they are both in each other's company, and there is so much laughs as well, and I do feel like that they do have a genuine bond or friendship over here, okay? I do feel like they definitely do have a sense of genuine friendship. There is enjoyment, there is comfort, and they have the ability to have fun together. They're genuinely like, it doesn't feel like it's something forced, like maybe on social media or on camera or on all of that, okay? I feel like definitely off camera as well, they do have a lot of fun together and they really enjoy each other's company, okay? But to be honest, I do feel like there is like a sense of awareness about each other's good qualities and presence, and possibly even attractiveness, which I'm picking here with the 8 of Wands, all right? And I do feel like one of them does view the other as intelligent, independent, and not someone that is easy to impress. And there is definitely a lot of respect there that they do have for the other, not just affection, okay? So it feels like they definitely both really mutually respect each other a lot and look up to each other in their own ways, okay? And the other person is definitely seen as someone that is reliable, grounded, and someone who has their life together, all right? And what I'm seeing when it comes to the two of them is that, you know, there's a lot of thoughts and things that they do think of each other, but I do feel like there is like a sense of one of them feeling that they should suppress all of that and sort of keep it to their own selves, okay? Their bond has definitely moved forward and grown over time, and you know, they still are very much connected. I do see there is a lot of connection between the two of them, and there's a lot of lighthearted energy when it comes to their bond. And definitely I feel like the bond that they shared has definitely helped the both of them grow a lot together, okay? There's a lot of mutual respect and admiration between the two of them, professionally and personally as well, okay? And they view each other as someone that they can trust and feel ease around, okay? But I do feel like maybe what is shown to you guys is something that is like almost surface level to what the bond that they have, because I feel like there's a lot going on behind the scenes. There's a lot more depth into the dynamic, okay? And not necessarily in a romantic sense, but I feel like there's a lot of things that are sort of kept inside, thoughts that are being suppressed, a bit of being careful regarding certain things, of not wanting to sort of overdo or step the boundary, okay? But I do feel like sometimes they both sort of have sat with themselves and sort of reflected on what this bond sort of means to the two of them, okay? And they both like have this sense of handling this connection responsibly and not doing something that will sort of ruin it, okay? But definitely the friendship that they share is very valuable to the two of them. So that is one reason why they both feel like they should be careful about it and maintain balance regarding that, okay? But definitely I do feel like there is a sense of proudness that one of them might feel, and I also do feel like it's probably Belmont towards Ella, that he sometimes does see things that she has achieved and things that she has done, and he sometimes looks at her and feels like, wow, she has done a lot. And there's like almost like the sense of like this proud feeling that, you know, for her, okay? So definitely I feel like they really care about each other, definitely have a pretty supportive bond, okay? Okay, next question is about Heart, Filipina actress and influencer, and her husband Chiz. Senator implicated in corruption scandal. How is their marriage? Okay, so how is the marriage between Heart and Chiz? How is the marriage between Heart and Chiz? Okay, guys, so when it comes to the two of them, it's like this sense that they both are not carrying their marriage the same way, okay? What sounds to me right when I pick the card is there is one of them that is more emotionally invested in keeping this marriage alive and moving it forward, and they are the one who specifically continues to put their heart into their relationship, their emotions into their relationship, even when there is difficult periods in their bond, okay? They seem to be holding a lot of heavy weight in the relationship more than the other person, okay? And so I feel like them really holding a lot of feelings for their partner has played a big part into this marriage continuing, okay? I feel like because of that, their partner is very lucky to have them, because if they had a partner that was less patient, that was less understanding, the marriage would have probably broken a long time ago. So I feel like this person has specifically helped this marriage because they were so patient, they were so resilient, and kept carrying all the burdens on their back more than the other person, okay? And so I do feel like the partner of this person is someone that has carried responsibilities, was focusing more on their image and maintaining control of situations rather than sort of expressing their emotions the same way that their partner did, okay? So one of them is more practical, one of them is more emotional, and so that's how they sort of react to things sometimes a bit differently, okay? And I do think definitely there has been moments where there has been disagreements, where has been tensions, and their marriage has definitely been tested multiple times. Like, it's almost like, okay, this is about to end, our marriage was about to end, but we literally came back from the brink of death. And you know, that's how I feel like their bond has been going on, okay, for a while, okay? And I feel like there's one of them that exactly knows how the dynamic works, how to navigate it, and what sort of keeps a relationship moving forward, while the other person is the one that is providing the emotional glue that sort of holds their bond together. So in a way, sometimes they do balance each other out, but sometimes it feels like one of them is the one that is putting in the more emotional effort into this relationship, okay? But despite the challenges that they both went through, I do see that sometimes they do share genuine affection, and there is a bond that they share they both have chosen to keep working things through with all the obstacles instead of like choosing to walk away. Because if they chose to walk away and they chose to give up, things would have easily ended between the two of them, but they keep choosing to move forward. Okay, but yes, I do feel like one of them has put sacrifices more and more and more to keep their marriage intact. Okay, but I feel like that person felt like a lot of burden because it always feels like it's them holding the relationship together. Next question is for Jung, Haein, and Bohyun. They bumped into each other at the same time, at the same event a few days ago, and seemed very friendly with one another. How genuine is their friendship? Okay, so let's take a look at Jung, Haein, and Bohyun. How genuine is their friendship? How genuine is the friendship between Jung, Haein, and Bohyun? Okay, you guys, so when it comes to the two of them, I do see that there has been this sort of new beginning or a new outlook when it comes to the bond between the two of them, okay? And I gotta say that there's one of them that is like really full of energy, that is fast paced, that has this more energetic energy, while there's like this one of them that is more like introverted in their own space, quiet, and all of that. Okay, so I feel like they're both like two different energies over here. Okay, but with the death, I do feel like there is like this sense that definitely there has been a new beginning when it comes to their bond and a new outlook and certain old thoughts that have sort of one of them that had old thoughts and they moved forward with the previous thoughts that they have. Okay, so there's definitely a new outlook to the bond that they share. Okay, so right now I do see that there is definitely a sense of mutual respect between the two of them, and I do feel like that they are capable of getting along naturally when they meet. Okay, but I do see that definitely there has been certain changes, distance, and shifts at one point when it comes to their bond. Okay, and so I feel like when it comes to their bond, it's not as simple as people that have a genuine friendship. It honestly doesn't feel like that. It definitely has a lot of layers than a straightforward friendship. Okay, but despite that, I do get that they both do not have any sort of bad feelings towards each other. Like I said, any sort of thoughts or any sort of feelings in the past, they have sort of overcame that over here. And so right now there's like a sense of peace. There's no ill feelings of any of the two of them, okay? But what stands out to me more than anything is, like I said, there is one of them that is full of energy and is fast paced and fast moving. So I feel like that person is the one that moves forward in their dynamic. Like, they are likely the one that initiates conversations and approaches first and makes effort to make things friendly. Okay, like if I'm being honest with you guys, they don't really have like a friendship where they talk to each other on a daily basis or they would consider each other close friends, but when they see each other, they definitely do have this friendly bond where they talk to each other. And I feel like it honestly at one point is a sense of this person, the Knight of Wands, moving things forward. Like when they see the other person, they're like, hey, how you're doing, and they stick with that other person and they talk with them, and they're sort of the one that is initiating more. Okay, while the other person, like, they're not feeling bad about it or anything and they're not bothered, but they're just like, yeah, and just talking in the sense of, keeping the conversation going, but they're not as full as energy as the other person is when it comes to their approach. Okay, like this person here is the one that is more reserved and tends to respond to the other thing that the person says, but they do not take the lead, or they don't have that much energy when it comes to the bond that they share in any sort of way. Okay, but the energy feels natural whenever they meet. It's not really forced. Okay, and they're not really pretending or any sort, but it's more like two people that are comfortable talking with each other more than people that are really close friends, okay? All right, guys. So that's what I'm picking for these two. Okay, next question is, not long ago, Jisoo seemed very keen on Zayn Malik. What happened between them at the end, and are they still in touch? Okay, so let's see. What is going on between Jisoo and Zayn Malik currently? Are they still in touch, and what happened between the two of them? What's going on between Jisoo and Zayn Malik? Alright, you guys, when it comes to the two of them, it feels like they both ended up sort of going into different directions than just having a major fallout when it comes to their bond, okay? I do feel like at one point there definitely seemed to be genuine interest that they both of them had towards each other, and there was curiosity, and they definitely thought about a potential in a connection regarding the two of them, okay? But I feel like they sort of pulled away to their own separate priorities and responsibilities, okay? And there is not anything specifically bad that happened between the two of them. Like right now, they don't have any sort of bad blood energy or anything. But it feels like the timing, circumstances, and demands of their individual lives sort of made it difficult to keep whatever they were building. Okay? And so it feels like almost like this sense that they had certain hopes, they had a certain vision, and they knew that it was probably a bit hard to happen, but they sort of were a bit hoping and a bit moving forward regarding that. But it sort of, at a certain point, it's almost like living in a fantasy and then getting out of that fantasy and realizing that we are in reality, not in sort of, you know, whatever we envisioned, okay? And so definitely there has been moments of disappointment and unmet expectations for the two of them, okay? But none of them is like sort of holding like a special resentment or anything like that when it comes to their bond, okay? They wanted things to happen a certain way, it didn't work out, and it feels like that they sort of started having less and less contact, okay? And so they sort of accepted where things stood between the two of them and just like moved forward, okay? And so I don't see like a complete cutoff when it comes to the contact. It's just not as often as it used to be before, okay? But if an opportunity came for the two of them to collab or do something together, I don't feel like that where they stand right now is going to be an obstacle for that. Like, I feel like they won't have a problem, but when it comes to their bond moving forward based on the current energies, it just feels like they stopped involved in each other's lives as they were, and contact stopped being as often as it was before, okay? But yes, that's what I'm picking for Jisoo and Zayn. Alright, next question is, Ariana Grande has embarked on what she says is likely to be her final tour. Will she definitely focus on acting from now on? Okay, so let's take a look into Ariana Grande. Will she start to focus on acting from now on? Will Ariana Grande start focusing on acting from now on? Let's see from here. Will Ariana likely focus from acting from now on? Okay, guys, so when it comes to Ariana regarding music and when it comes to acting, I do see that right now Ariana is definitely sort of seriously reflecting on the next chapter of her career, then making like a clear decision that, okay, I'm gonna leave music for a bit, or I'm gonna just focus on acting. I feel like she is focusing on the next chapter of her career, but she's not really wanting to make but she's not really making a definite decision right now, okay? She definitely looks a lot back at the past and looking at what she has accomplished and deciding what still feels meaningful for her moving forward, okay? And I honestly heard that when it comes to her tour right now, it's almost like she does want to send a certain message. It almost feels like there is something that she does want to say. There's a certain message that she does want to send when it comes to this tour for her, okay? And it almost feels like that she definitely is trying her best when it comes to the tour that she's doing right now, okay? But definitely there is like this sense that there is a lot of things that is more than all that glitters. There's a lot of things that there is more depth in something that looks good on the outside, okay? And so there's like certain things that she does feel have affected her in the past, and even right now, maybe certain people's opinions, certain what people are saying. And I feel like there is something that sort of people might think that it glitters and it's good, but deep inside for her, it's not, okay? She definitely does want more stability and balance, and something that she will want to do long term when it comes to her career, and something that will make her feel fully satisfied. And I feel like acting is definitely something that is being considered seriously for her, but I would not say that she's fully leaving touring or music or creative projects behind forever. Like, I do feel like I just heard that music is home for me. She generally feels happy when she does music and when she sings and when she performs for people. But I feel like sometimes it takes a big toll on her, and there's a lot of things that happen behind the scenes, and she gets affected by certain things, okay? And music is definitely something that is an emotional topic for her. I feel like sometimes even she gets emotional about it, okay? And so I feel like it's not like she's leaving music or anything like that. It's more like maybe her priorities will shift from now on, and she's probably gonna shift her priority to acting for a certain time, okay? But I don't see that she's completely gonna leave music, all right? But there's definitely gonna be new opportunities for her that she's gonna learn and grow from, and she definitely wants to move forward rather than staying in a certain cycle over and over. So she's gonna want to do something that is gonna make her feel a certain amount of change, okay? Overall, I would say that acting does look like it's gonna become her bigger focus moving forward, but it's not gonna be like a final decision that I'm gonna focus just on acting, okay? But I don't see that she will never return to touring or music or other projects related to it, okay? But it's more like acting becomes the main priority, not that everything is over. It's not like the rest is gonna be over for her, okay? Her sort of shift is gonna shift, okay? All right, next question is Jennie and Mingyu current energy and connection update. Okay, so let's take a look for Jennie and Mingyu. What is their current energy and connection right now? What is the connection and current energy between Jennie and Mingyu right now? Okay, guys, so when it comes to Jennie and Mingyu, the overall energy sort of feels a bit positive, but also feels a bit cautious, okay? I don't see a connection that is fully closed off right now between the two of them, but I don't see a connection that keeps moving forward at full speed and keeps developing at the same time, okay? There is definitely a big signs of friendship that I'm picking here, especially with the Three of Cups. They definitely mutually support each other, and whenever they hang out, they definitely enjoy each other's company. And the connection for them feels familiar and comfortable. Like they enjoy whenever they spend time together, okay? But I do feel like one of them is hesitant about making a clear decision or for fully revealing what they feel regarding the other. Like there's like a sense of holding back or holding things inside of them, okay? And so at the same time, I just feel like both of them sort of have a lot on their plates right now. And so they have a lot of responsibilities at the same time, pressure, sort of taking their attention at the same time. But I do see that even with all of that, there's sometimes connection and communication between the two of them. At the same time, I do feel like sometimes there's things that they both want to share with each other, but just choose to sort of hold that back and be careful what they share and not fully showing what they feel at the moment, okay? But when it comes to the two of them, there's definitely a big theme of patience over here, that things sort of keep unfolding when it comes to the two of them slowly rather than something like happening right away. Like I do feel like their bond has definitely went through a lot of layers, a lot of things, and definitely it keeps overcoming certain periods in their life and certain situations, okay? And I do see that it's going to continue moving forward, and there's going to be potential for growth in their connection, but it feels that it's going to be something that develops step by step more than something that is going to happen majorly or suddenly, okay? Now let's see, next question is Kim Taehyung's love life. Okay, so let's take a look at Kim Taehyung's love life. What's going on when it comes to Taehyung's love life at the moment? Okay, guys, so when it comes to Taehyung's love life, I do feel like that his love life is going through a period of change that is sort of changing his love life to the way that it has been for a while, okay? There's definitely a lot of emotions and attraction and romantic energy that I'm picking around here for him, okay? And so he definitely is not at this point right now where he's sort of closed off when it comes to love, okay? I definitely see a specific person in his energies right now, so he does have a specific someone in his life right now, okay? I do see that at a certain point he did have confusion and uncertainty when it comes to love, and he was sort of trying to sort of figure out what he truly wants, and there has definitely been a lot of suitors for him and possibilities and choices and distractions around him, okay? But there is like a big sense of something coming to a certain balance, and maybe an old chapter ending or something from the past that has sort of become more clear for him, okay? And so because of that, he sort of experienced definitely some heartbreak and disappointment when it comes to love, and that sort of at a certain time sort of made him approach relationships and bonds differently because he had a hurtful experience, all right? But right now he does have a desire to be genuinely happy when it comes to love and not settling for someone that isn't going to make him fully happy, okay? And so I do pick that Taehyung is definitely someone that can attract attention quite easily and have people interested in him and multiple people wanting to be with him, okay? But Taehyung has learned right now that he is going to choose what is actually right for him, okay? And so I do feel like right now there is definitely a person that does have an effect on how Taehyung views love and relationship right now. I do feel like that this person has definitely affected his view in relationships and make him feel things more positively, okay? And I feel like this connection made him pushed to being more honest with himself about his feelings and what he needs and his expectations into love, okay? And so I do feel like this person is not someone that is just a passing interest for him. It's definitely someone who made him reflect on love more deeply, okay? And so this person is definitely teaching him a lot of lessons, and I'm not gonna say that these lessons are all easy. This person is gonna teach him a lot of things, good and the bad, all right? But when it comes to their bond, I do feel like things are not fully set up for them. It definitely feels like something that is still growing and still moving forward, okay? Definitely with this person, it definitely feels like someone that is emotionally warm, caring, and this person is not someone that reveals things very quickly. I feel like they are very wise, okay? But they definitely do have a soft side, and they're more compassionate. And they have a compassionate side that sort of stands out, okay? They have a lot of nurturing energy to them, okay? At the same time, they feel like they are someone that has their own independent life, their own personality, other than just revolving around Taehyung, okay? But yeah, that's what I'm picking for Taehyung's love life currently. Next question is Jungkook and Winter's current energy and connection. Alright, let's take a look into Jungkook and Winter's current energy and connection. What is Jungkook and Winter's current energy and connection? Anything else when it comes to Jungkook and Winter? Anything else when it comes to Jungkook and Winter? One more. Okay. Alright, you guys. So when it comes to Jungkook and Winter, the big sense of interest and attraction when it comes to the two of them, okay? Definitely a lot of value, and especially with No Place Like Home, there is a sense that there is a lot of great feeling when they are around each other. There is like a sense of feeling at comfort, feeling at home, feeling comfortable with the other, okay? But at the same time, when it comes to their bond, I do see that there is a lot of times where there is a sense of hesitation, okay? And sometimes they both stood at certain periods where they were questioning what they wanted to do when it comes to their connection and what realistically fits in their lives, okay? And I do feel like because they are public figures, there's a strong sense of like being mindful of their appearances, expectations, and responsibilities that they have, and outside factors that sort of influence how they sort of move their bond moving forward, okay? Okay, they definitely are drawn to one another, but at the same time, there's like a big sense of energy of restraint at times, of not knowing what to do, of sort of trying to balance things out and trying to make things right and do things the right way, all right? But I do see that their bond goes through a lot of phases, okay? There is times where there is interest, there is communication, but there is times where there is distance between them, where they distance themselves and try to reflect and decide what they want to do next, okay? So there is a big sense of sort of recessing their expectations, and sometimes one of them does realize that the situation is more complicated than they originally thought, so they sort of step back, okay? So I feel like when it comes to their bond, sometimes there's a moving forward then going back, moving forward then going back type of thing, because, you know, I feel like one of them views that, you know, a lot of factors sort of affect them moving forward. It's not that easy, especially with the type of people, especially them being public figures. There's a lot of aspects that go into it and a lot of things that they have to be careful about, okay? So when it comes to their bond, definitely I feel like they have overcome a lot. It hasn't been definitely an easy connection that they both share. So a lot of times they went through tough moments and they had to regenerate and they had to move forward. And I feel like right now, even now, things are not very easy when it comes to the bond. And so I feel like they definitely have their moments. But right now I do feel like things are sort of in a period where they're trying to balance things out. So there is some sort of communication between them right now, alright? Next question is, what is Nicola and Luke's vibe on the set? What is Nicola and Luke's vibe on the set? Okay, guys, so when it comes to Nicola and Luke on set, I honestly do feel like there's like a sense of them not being around each other as much as they used to. Either it comes to coming together for certain scenes or stuff like that, it just doesn't feel like as frequent as maybe they used to before. Okay, I do feel like that definitely overall when they're filming, there is a positive, comfortable, and easy to be around vibe when it comes to the two of them when they're filming certain scenes together, okay? I don't feel like that there is specifically right now a big tension like they used to have in the past. Like I do feel like in the past there was like certain tension that they both had to get over, and things weren't as easygoing as they used to be before. So I do feel like at a certain time it was a bit difficult to them when it comes to filming. But right now it feels like things are not as tense as they used to be. Right now things are sort of easy going between the two of them, okay? They have been together around each other for a while. With the Six of Cups, there's definitely memories and there's definitely things that they hold for each other. So whenever they meet, it's almost like memories coming back and good moments. And they do feel like that it's good to be back. Especially when it comes to the sets and all of that, alright? And so I do feel like sometimes they do have like this playful dynamic. But you guys, honestly, they both sort of approach things differently. Like I'm picking up that there's one of them that has this more expressive, more warm, more spontaneous energy when it comes to set, and there's one of them that has sort of become more cautious and more measured with things moving forward, okay? And so that sort of sometimes comes in the way where things are not moving as smoothly as they used to be, okay? But I do feel like they both still have a lot of sense of mutual appreciation and respect regarding each other, and they value what they both bring to the table when it comes to when they're acting and all that. They enjoy acting together overall, okay? They feel like that they're able to act well together, okay? But like I said, sometimes there's certain thoughts or certain feelings that are kept to themselves, you know, after certain things happen regarding the two of them, okay? And so they definitely have a friendly atmosphere right now, but there's like an awareness that has come where they know where the lines are right now, okay? But I do feel like the day-to-day energy between them looks cooperative and it's nice and friendly between the two of them, okay? It's just that they have learned to sort of balance the friendliness that they share and the personal boundaries over time, okay? Now when it comes to Nicola and Jake's energies, let's see. What's going on between Nicola and Jake right now? What's going on between Nicola and Jake right now? Okay guys, so when it comes to Nicola and Jake, I do honestly do feel like that there was a rough patch that they went through at a certain point where things felt heavy between the two of them, and I do feel like it does have to do with maybe a third person coming in the way or stuff like that, okay? And it has been definitely something that they went through, that they had to overcome and they had to move forward through, but it was definitely something that was sort of affecting their bond for the longest time. Okay, but right now I do see there's like a sense of moving forward, making efforts and balancing things out and moving through something that has been burdening them. Okay, and so it feels like trying to overcome something that they have been sort of lifting, or a certain weight. Okay, it feels like one of them has been holding that weight for a long while, and the other person was feeling that, and so it caused some certain unsureties and unsureties in their bond. Okay, and there was a lot of things that they both felt that they both kept to themselves and they didn't share, so at times there wasn't really great communication between the two of them. Okay, but right now there's like a sense of growth. Okay, and it feels like two people that have overcame something step by step instead of just trying to measure. Okay, and I feel like their communication has definitely gotten better. Okay, I do see patience here, and I do see that they both have learned to sort of put the effort to make the relationship work and to communicate better over time. All right, at the same time there's like this sense of supportive energy that they both have when it comes to each other. They help each other a lot along the way, they teach each other new stuff, and of being supportive and being there for each other. Like I do feel like there's certain gestures that are done to show their support when it comes to projects and when it comes to stuff like that. Okay, there's definitely comfortable energy that they share around each other, and I do, like I mentioned, there has definitely been challenges recently, but like I said, they have learned to work through them calmly than just letting them become even worse of a problem. Okay, and right now I do feel like they are both invested in seeing where the relationship goes. I do feel like there's one of them that does think about commitment more than the other. Like they want to their relationship to be more committed, and they want something to be more serious when it comes to the other. Okay, like they want to build for the future. Okay, but I do see that their bond overall is continuing to evolve. Okay, even though there's difficulties, I feel like they try to overcome and learn with them, and I do feel like best to move through things forward together. Okay, last question is Luke and Antonia's current energy. Let's see, what is Luke and Antonia's current energy right now? What is Luke and Antonia's current energy at the moment? Okay, guys, so when it comes to Luke and Antonia's bond, I do feel like there is a big sense of reflection and reassessment when it comes to their bond. I feel like they are trying their best to look at their relationship more differently than before. Okay, they're sort of at this space where they're sort of questioning the next chapter and thinking more about things seriously. I feel like there's specifically one of them that is looking into marriage and wanting things to be more stable between the two of them. All right, but it doesn't feel like it's something that easy. Okay, and I feel like there's a lot of disappointments when it comes to that, because there's like a sense of waiting, wanting it to happen, but it's not really happening, or maybe the other person isn't as open to that idea as them. Okay, and so I feel like there has been a difficult period for the two of them, where there has definitely been a disappointment and challenge that sort of affect their dynamic in a certain way, and it doesn't feel like it's something that happened too long ago. Okay, and so I feel like even after this tough period, there's one of them that is not fully detached and not ready to give up. They still want their bond to move forward and continue on. Okay, and so there's definitely still investment in the relationship that they both have, but there is still a lot of work that they feel like they have to work together and cooperate for behind the scenes to sort of maintain stability in their relationship. Okay, but there's definitely a big desire for change, for renewal, for something new to happen in their bond, something that feels like a fresh air, okay? But there's one of them at the same time that does feel like a sense that I am protective of what is shown to others, and I don't want everything to be shared, I don't want everything to be known, okay? While the other person is more not really caring what other people say in that sort of sense, okay? But right now, how their bond is it's sort of evaluated and being redefined in certain ways, okay? And I'm not necessarily saying that it's ending, but it's also not sort of moving as smoothly as one of them would want, okay? I hope that made sense. But other than that, thank you guys so much for watching this reading. I really hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, please make sure to like, comment, share, and subscribe. And I would love to hear you guys' opinion down below. Thank you guys so much, and I hope to see you guys next time. Bye!